Speaking of festive, we got our Chris Mulcahy here. Also, yeah.
This is my typical Wednesday guard. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's actually a little toasty for this on a Wednesday today.
Oh, no, seriously, though. Well, the good thing is it's a cheap suit, so... actually, it's really not too bad. I got this about 11 years ago, and being honest with you, a little behind-the-scenes thing, I have been sucking it in all morning because it is tight. But at least it kind of fits. And it's super festive. So my ugly sweater suit just in time because it's the only festive thing that I can do for the weather department today.
Well, we were just talking before the show started when I was opening up with, is it Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas Eve?
Okay,
Happy Christmas Eve, Merry Christmas.
I hear Happy Christmas Eve, Merry Christmas.
Right.
But I'm not mad when people say Merry Christmas Eve. But I think it's happy.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's different. It doesn't roll off the tongue the same way when it's Merry Christmas Eve.
Well, because I guess that you want to be happy that you're anticipating Christmas,
Ooh.
but then all of a sudden, once Christmas is there, all of a sudden you're merry status.
Merry is
Wait, hold on.
set for, it's like special for the day of.
I want to, let's really dive into this. So the definition for merry is cheerful and lively.
Oh. That does sound like you.
Yeah, well, I feel very merry right now. Well, and I guess that's the point. So I guess it's maybe a little bit different that you just want to be happy, and then it sets at a different bar.
Also, a merry early birthday.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Actually,
Lots to celebrate this week.
Shout out to Majestic, and I didn't know they made these. She found a card that said "Happy Merry Birthday."
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I was just saying, I didn't know the cards came out there. So, hey, to all my Christmas birthday brethren and sisterhood, I do appreciate you. But also, it's not just Christmas. I feel like anyone that has a birthday either side of Christmas still kind of gets absorbed into the whole Christmas holiday. For me, I just kind of forget about it. So, Merry Christmas, and thank you very much. Okay, let's get to the forecast, y'all. So, it has been a warm stint, and we already saw it yesterday, but I got records for us.
Ooh.
Today isn't going to be record tying. It's going to be a record-breaking day, 75 degrees. Yesterday exceeded expectations. I think we're doing it again. We pick up more clouds a little bit later on in the day, and then across the board, we're warm, 77 for you in Lancaster, 76 over in Shiraz, 61 in Boone is astronomical.
Whoa.
Yeah, so this is the warmest Christmas Eve of all time across the board, the way that I'm seeing here. And actually, there's a lot of the country that's dealing with the warmest Christmas or Christmas Eve that they ever had. Now, this brings us to our merry evening traditions or happy traditions, whatever you're feeling. I think merry is going to be satisfactory for this, at least. Either side of 60 degrees. I went to McAdenville yesterday, and I do want to stop here for 1 second. And we left Northwest Charlotte, and it said it was going to take about 45 minutes to get there. And I was like, okay, no problem. Then all of a sudden, traffic stopped on 45, and it said it's going to take 45 minutes to get there. 30 minutes later, it said it's going to take 45 minutes to get there.
No.
It literally, by the time we got done in parking and stuff like that, by the time we actually were walking and everything like that, I swear it was about 2 hours. So
that hurts so bad.
So what am I saying to you is if this was your plan, I just was waiting. I weathermanned. I was waiting for the warmest opportunity, and I knew I couldn't do it on Christmas Eve, but I didn't realize it's right before Christmas Eve. So this is my suggestion. If you want to do it, for one, go when it's daylight. Maybe have lunch and just settle out there. Because the two main places that people park, and the second one is kind of like they know about it, but the first one is going to be the McAdenville, I think is it a middle school or elementary school? I'm forgetting, but it's McAdenville School just outside. And then there's also the Food Line a lot of people park on. I parked at an empty lot across the street from Food Line. So those are the kind of the secret spots that people park.
That's
so
the insider scoop.
That's
right
the insider
there.
scoop. But the traffic is so bad, like literally right now, traffic is bad heading that direction in general. So if you are planning, leave an hour earlier than you were planning just to park. So that's just my advice. I don't want you sitting in traffic for a majority of your Christmas Eve.
You did that at night, and then you still woke up early for morning show, and you're still this energetic. That really is merry.
Yeah, my wife, I sent a picture. I was like, the suits keep me merry and more awake. And she's like, no, I know you. I can tell your face is tired. And I was like, you are right. Because I didn't go to bed until like 11 and got back up at 1:30. So, well, it's my superpower. I can survive off very little sleep.
It's very impressive.
But then all of a sudden, I will old man fall asleep sitting up on you. So just letting you know.
And I think that's respectable given the situation.
Oh, what? Sorry. Okay, let's move on. I do want to ask you before I move on, does anyone have any Christmas Eve traditions that they have done in the past or still do? James Brierton, you have the floor.
I'd have to get a microphone, Chris. We used to go to my grandparents' house and have the classic Italian, 7 fish course
What?
meal. But I didn't like fish, so.
Is it really 7 different fish?
I think so.
Whoa.
I think so.
I didn't know about
I don't know
this.
about that either.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
We just do, everyone gets pajamas Christmas Eve night.
Oh,
and
that's
you
a
wear
good
that-
one.
Yeah. So my parents are in town, actually, from Cincinnati.
And are you getting pajamas?
I don't know if we're doing it this year. It'll be a fun surprise.
Ooh, that would be nice. For us, we just get Chinese food.
Oh, that's a good one,
Yeah,
too.
a lot of people do that.
Like
That's
the Santa Claus movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. I think as far as I can remember, Kim's family did as well, so that worked out for a crossover. And then actually, my dad did it with his dad, so it's the kind of nice little family tradition. Also, if anyone's writing in, I'm still looking for a great Chinese food restaurant across here. I found a lot of good ones, but I'm talking about wow. I'm gonna
Next level.
Next level. So I'm looking for you. If you're out there, let me know. Okay, so here we go. Ho, ho, ho. Night before Christmas and all through the house. There were cookies to be eaten, and it was super warm. We have 52 degrees. I was too lazy. I guess I'm too tired to actually rhyme right now. No need for the fire, honestly, and no chestnuts roasting. And even hot chocolate might be a little bit warm for a lot of people. If you're doing anything, have the windows down. It's going to be sensational. But when Old St. Nick arrives, we're expecting temperatures to drop down the upper to the mid 50s. But it's at this point we are going to allow for a little bit of cloud cover and rain to move in. So here's what it looks like. Through today, we get more clouds to end the day, gets cloudier in the evening, which actually puts a cap on our warm-up. So what I was trying to get to, and of course I get way too distracted, McAdenville, I was walking around, I had a light flannel on, I rolled up my sleeves, it was so warm.
Yeah.
So around 60 degrees, especially if you're walking, your body's naturally heating up. Keep that in mind, don't overdress, especially for tonight and the next couple. And once you get to the overnight, we are looking at a chance for rain, but most likely you're going to be sleeping. Hopefully the wrapping's done, or else you're going to be very tired when the kids wake you up super early. But we are looking at a very little bit of light rain to, I would say, between about midnight and 5. Then after that, the clouds break. So don't be surprised if you look out the window, it looks gloomy. It'll get better. More detail, though, because Santa's flying. He's not taking a taxi. He's not driving his Prius. Rooftops temps are going to be in the upper 50s, so it's a little bit warmer there with the wind about 10 miles per hour. A mile up in the atmosphere, temperatures in the upper 40s. And then looking about 15 to 17,000 feet, winds at about 60 miles per hour that gives an extra boost, but temperatures are above freezing. That's how warm we are, that it's not just here at the surface. The entire atmosphere is at a warmer level than what it usually is. And whenever you have an above average upper atmosphere, that usually leads to some historic highs, and that's exactly what we're seeing. One of the warmest of all time for Christmas. I have another high of 75 degrees. I've been mentioning my grilling forecast because it is absolutely, and I'm going to actually bring that one up. We're going to pull an audible, because for the first time in my career, I've actually been able to put Christmas lights on a grilling forecast. So check it out. I'm calling this my Christmas cookout. And yes, this is what I'm doing. I've decided. So during the afternoon, I am a big cheeseburger connoisseur. So I'm actually going to grill up some burgers for the middle of the afternoon. Like, why not? Like, a lot of people are saying, oh, I wanted it to be cold, maybe more festive. It's like, forget about that. It's always next year. Enjoy the warm weather, because if you are out there enjoying yourself, running around, maybe use the toys that you thought you had to wait until spring to use, get outside and enjoy it. Plus, just 15 minutes of sunshine is nice enough to give you some vitamin D and allow for some serotonin to be produced in the brain.
And it is going to get chillier later, so if you're disappointed with the forecast now, don't worry.
Yep.
Come back.
What goes up must come down. And it's actually going to get cooler before that than you really think. So the warmest Christmases of all time, if 75 does verify, which is a very good shot, looks like that will solidify the number 2 spot. But I think regardless, this is going to be in the top 3 warmest on record. Now, for our rain chances, there is a slight chance for rain on Friday. And I actually think this is perfect. because people are going to be out and about. The day after Christmas, people go to the movies.
Yeah.
People do stuff like that. Maybe the kids want to stay in and play with their toys. This is going to be a perfect opportunity, and there will be another chance for rain on Sunday heading into Monday. So I want to get to the big changes we see. It's called cold air damming. It's the only time I can say dam on air without it being criticized. It's
this
a
is the
dam.
stream, no rules.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's a dam of cold air that is built up and backed up, held against the mountains. That's the definition of a dam, and it stays in place. So it's going to allow for a constant cloud cover, because check it out. We have widespread clouds with on and off rain. So I think your Friday is going to be misty with some areas of drizzle. We'll feel damp. It'll be overcast, no sunshine. But since we're starting off warmer, it's still going to be a relatively warmer day to either side of 60 degrees. I have 61, I think, is what I've been saying all morning. I'm already forgetting. I truly think that might even be too warm depending on how big that is. Now, once this breaks, we're seeing another surge of warm air. We're back to 76. So this will be another record breaker. But then Sunday is the transition day. This is also hopefully the transition day for the Carolina Panthers, maybe transitioning to the playoffs. So we'll see. But temperatures will cool down big time on the backside of this. But then here is what Julie was talking about. By Tuesday, 44 degrees and the mid to the upper 20s for lows. That will hurt because our lows over the next few days are in the lower 50s. That's where our highs should be. So our highs are going to be colder than that, and our lows are going to be about 30 degrees colder. So these warm-ups are great. I love them, but at the end, they're kind of mean. Because people are like, oh, I want more of that, but then you have to most likely wait months for a historic run like
That's
this.
true. It gives you a little taste.
And the way we started off December and the way we ended November was in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees. We actually went 12 days in a row that temperatures were at 50 or below that. We're going to start that again to end December and begin January. So it's going to be a chilly start. But oftentimes we have the advantage from the Climate Prediction Center. So what this does is it picks up on atmospheric patterns. So it's going to be ebbs and flows in the jet stream. Is it more warm air or is it more of a polar plunge happening? It does look like there's going to be another big ridge that's going to allow for above average temperatures in the central part of the country. So there is a chance by at least week number 2 of January that things should start to trend back up. So this is not as long of a cool down as what we had, but things are still all over the place. And I'm going to end with one more stat that I dug up. I did a new update on our average temperature for the year, and we have now officially moved up the rankings. So officially we are tied for the 8th warmest year on record. 2024 was the warmest on record, averaging 62.9 degrees. Since we're going to be so warm over the next few days, I do think that that is going to stick. So overall, a warm year, but at the buzzer, we moved up just enough to tie the 8th spot.
Interesting. Okay. It's going to be divisive, I think. Interesting to see what people will think if they like the warm weather or if they wanted the colder. But if there's no chance for a white Christmas, I'm like, might as well be really warm.
Do you want to see where there's a chance for a white Christmas?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So I made this graphic earlier, and this will be the last thing I'll have for you guys. All right. So here is a look at our snow forecast models and travel forecast across the United States. And we're going to specify this. I'm not going to just show you a big map. So this right here shows you the forecasted snow for mainly the morning. Because in my opinion, the most magical thing is when you have falling snow on Christmas morning. Mm-hmm. I think that's happened once in my life, and I even lived in New England, so that's just saying something. And speaking of New England, that is where we have to head first for, I think, our first chance for snow. So in northern Maine, we are looking at a chance for snow. Where are we looking right now, actually, James? Where was that?
That was in the New England area.
That was New England? See? Now, this is the problem, and James knows this. A white Christmas has a controversial definition even per National Weather Service office. There's 2 definitions. There's one, to have an inch of fresh snow, at least, on the ground, or 2, to have actively falling snow. Some people think you have to have active falling snow up to an inch. So
drama.
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's like if Die Hard's a Christmas movie or not. You don't want to get in the middle of it. You don't want to get involved.
Never seen that movie?
I've never seen it either.
Okay. There's no safe space for that then.
And a lot of people probably just scoffed. No. But where James was just showing us, that is our first stop for our chance for a white Christmas. Check it out. Technically, it's white right now, and that is fresh snow that actively fell. But I think that we're going to see more overnight heading into tomorrow. So that does include also Burlington, Vermont. Montpelier, I think it's going to be in the cusp. Bangor, Maine, looking good with even some sunshine after that. Boston, not so much. Now we move over to Montana. Now this one's interesting. West Yellowstone, which fun fact, I lived there for a couple years of my young life.
I was forgot about that.
Yeah, it was cool. Antelope playing in the backyard. The buffalo wandered in my front yard a couple of times. Buffalo pies are huge, by the way, and bald eagles flying above. So it was a majestic place to live, to say the least.
People eat the buffaloes?
Oh no, buffalo pie means buffalo poo. That's what they call them. Yeah.
Carry on.
Okay, we'll move on. No, I don't know about, but actually people do. It's bison burgers. A lot of people do actually eat that.
Fascinating.
All right, we'll move on.
That's enough of that.
That's enough of that. For our next stop for our white Christmas, here it is. We have some snow chances really in the western and northwestern side of Wyoming, and there is a slight chance for a little bit of snow in between here in West Yellowstone. Not a lot of populations. Jackson Hole, Wyoming was looking at a really good shot. I think some of the higher elevations might be able to see it. There's also another spot over in Chalice, and that's Idaho, and the best chance, in my opinion, is really the mountains of California, because they're dealing with epic flooding over in California from the atmospheric river. And when you're driving moisture up the mountain, well, it's going to drive some heavier snow. So they're actually seeing some heavy snow. And here's a look at an accident that's actually happening over in California, for instance. This is a bad situation because like we've seen with Helene, and I always use this as a benchmark, Helene was so bad because of the epic rain we saw before, and then you put epic rain on top of that.
Yeah.
If you continue to put big rain on top of big rain, it turns to massive, it turns to extreme, and then it turns to historic. That's exactly what's happening here. And there's actually another reason for this as well, and it all has to do with the wildfires, believe it or not. So if we can bring up this graphic, James. So oftentimes after there's a wildfire, and this is for mudslides that I built this explainer, but it means the same thing. So burning plants, especially some of the ones with the chemical competition out in California, it releases chemicals into the soil. These chemicals are actually very waxy. So what it does is it forms a very thin layer that's water resistant. Picture a slip and slide material pretty much starts to form on top of the surface. So what happens is water can't sink down below, so it accumulates above and it races down. What's happening right now, not necessarily mudslides, even though I think that that's going to be a big cause of concern over the next couple of days, all that water that is now accumulating as it's going up the mountains. So picture water that's falling in Hickory, well, it's coming down the rivers and it's swelling everything downstream. And then meanwhile, those streams are picking up more rain, which is just almost like a traffic jam of water. So as that's all accumulating, soil and rocks can also slide off, and that could lead up to a buildup of water and some mudslides. But what's happening here is because of the wildfires, there's a lot of this water that's rushing down extra fast on top of the atmospheric river that is just a kind of a perfect storm that's happening here. The problem with California is they either get no rain or all the rain, and that's been, I think, the biggest cause of concern, because the atmospheric river, you call them, is also known as the Pineapple Express. It just brings a tremendous amount of moisture that's usually responsible for up to 60% of their daily rainfall. The problem is if it stays for multiple days, scenarios like what you've been seeing over the last couple of days stick.
You are a busy man, Chris.
Oh,
There's a
thank
lot
you.
going on.
There's a lot in my head.
going on right now.
And there's a reason why also,
goodness.
whenever you hear me speak, I go in so many different directions, like asking about traditions and stuff like that. 'Cause there's a lot of facts in here. So that's why I like being here in the Impact Studio, guys, because you let me talk and get it all out.
Well, we do have some updated reports from our news partners out in LA that we'll get to in a bit. So
Okay.
all that stuff that you just mentioned is exact stuff that we're touching on. And another live look. My gosh, you can see that flooding.
Wow.
And those cars just stuck there.
Well, and the problem is a lot of people say, like, that rain right there, because the windshield wipers aren't super busy, that's a perfect soaking rain that just soaks into the soil. So that adds up more than you think. Some of our biggest rainfalls actually come from that rain compared to the over-aggressive thunderstorms that a lot of it washes away. So, yeah, that's just not a good situation. Yeah, so thoughts and prayers to a lot of people out there. Luckily, it looks like this atmospheric river is going to break down over the next couple of days.
Good.
So they're kind of nearing the end.
Okay.
We just have to hope that it doesn't set up in the near term.
Yeah, especially on Christmas. Definitely just a layered situation happening. With a lot of people traveling too.
And the problem for that area also is what we're starting to do is a couple months from now, we start to up the Santa Ana winds. Have you ever heard of the Santa Ana winds? So that leads to a windy season. That leads to also fire season. So hopefully the soil stay moist enough. Yeah, no, it's a rough time in the Southwest because it's kind of one thing after another.
Well,